the Japanese continue to win. And there's a reason why they continue to win, because they do stuff for their customers. They don't do stuff to try to appease, not for the most part, a very small demographic of weirdos who bitch and moan on the internet. Okay? They have something that has worked. Manga and anime has something that has worked. And there are people out in the West that have now, more than they ever have before, shown so much support to this stuff, to where for the first time again, this past year was the first time that it ever happened, where according to MBD Book Scans, manga had all the top 10 adult graphic novels in America. That never happened before. Now, there's a story that, big shout out to Spencer from Bounding in the Comics, talked about. And Subaraya Productions CEO vows to grow Ultraman fan base without making changes for Western audiences. And the quote is, in order to compete on the world stage, we need to make use of Japan's identity. With the company's Ultraman franchise slowly beginning to make its proper debut into the wider world following years of licensing troubles, Subaraya Productions CEO Takayuki Sukagoshi vowed to grow to Kusatsu's hero fan base without making changes to its sense of self for Western audiences. And he outlined his version for the future of Ultraman during an interview, and this was with Yahoo Japan. And the site asked him if the franchise will be entering a new era of Ultraman that is different from the past. And Sukagoshi said, "We are developing a different type of Ultraman. What will change is not the shape or form of Ultraman, but the content and nature of the work. It is possible to create a work that has a message that is easy for children to understand, and a universal work that will move and satisfy adults." That's what for example, X-Men, the animated series, was able to do. And that's what older work was able to do for American comic book stuff. That's what I like to create with Ultraman. However, the details will be announced a little faster. In the meantime, we will continue to produce other than Ultraman. The future of these productions is to use new technologies to create new original works. And it seems like they've gotten beyond this sort of dispute, I guess, that they were having with some licensing, and you're about to see more of it. But eventually he moved to explain his production philosophy towards expanding Ultraman's presence in a global scale, or on a global scale, particularly in Western markets, telling Takei, "I have been thinking about the content of films, whether it's action, blockbuster, about heroes, or general drama. It's based on personal conflict and growth. On the other hand, Japanese and Asian films have different ideas and concepts. One of them is the way that we relate to nature, community, and society. In other words, the idea of coexistence. We Japanese are a country blessed with nature, surrounded by the sea, and mountains, and we have grown up working together in this environment. This is the message that characterizes our work. There are a number of cultural standards in the West, especially in Hollywood." He said he believed that there was a chance for our unique work to be accepted around the world, even in the form of a collaboration with Hollywood. He said the CEO declared, "From a Western perspective, most of the world's popular Japanese characters are already being made into films by Hollywood, major studios, and global media groups. However, Ultraman is not one of them." He says Ultraman may be the last big IP left in Japan. We have received many offers from overseas companies, but if we do the same thing in Hollywood, when we go out into the world, Ultraman will be buried among many hero characters. I love that he's basically shitting on Hollywood. He says, in order to compete on the world stage, we need to make use of Japan's identity and Japaneseness as a strong point in our story. This is the way I want to present Ultraman brand. This will lead to creation of powerful works on a different level. He said that ultimately he wanted to send out new value-added works that are not in Hollywood, not in the Hollywood standard, but have our unique genes from Japan to Asia and to the world. Basically, he does not want to Americanize this. I don't even want to say Americanize. It's more Hollywoodize your product. And that's the best way to keep integrity. You've seen what Netflix has utterly done to your fucking projects. Why do y'all keep giving them the y'all's license? That's the one thing, one of my criticisms of Japan. Y'all kill it, but I don't know why y'all keep trying to get these guys to bastardize your material, right? See, this is the thing that they need to understand, and I think this guy does. Your brand has something. If people are, let's say, being intrigued by mangas or anime or whatever it is, you've in like the West, they've already shown you then that they are willing to accept and embrace that. You don't need to make so many adjustments to try to cater it to that audience, because at that point you're just catering to an audience of fucking weirdos that probably aren't even reliable customers. They already like your shit. Just keep doing what you're already doing. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what works. It works. What you need to change it for. And this isn't the first time we've heard stuff like this come from some of these Japanese artists or Japanese producers, let's say, or creatives in this space. But keeping tabs on it is what keeps the integrity about it. And I think that's the biggest difference between, let's say, what we see in traditional, like more so manga or anime versus what we see in I don't know, versus what we see in on the other side. You know what I mean? Whereas you get a million different versions of the character. Everybody has to have their own spin on it, as opposed to having some sort of integrity and kept with the project. And that's all Japanese production that I'm referring to, like anime, manga, shows, whatever it is. I believe that there is a market that can be tapped that's in the West and in America, exclusively, more precisely putting it, while also maintaining the integrity of what you know already works, which has garnished you some support in places outside of Japan. Just keep doing what you already do. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.